body of missing mother, 19-year-old Ana Blanco, who disappeared 5 months ago in Venezuela, has been found inside her own freezer. The authorities are looking for a boyfriend, who they believe is responsible for her death. Ana's disappearance did not initially raise any concerns, because she would often travel from her home state of Aragua to Caracas for long periods of time, without keeping in touch with her relatives. On the 29th of July, when her ex-partner and father to a 4-year-old son hadn't heard from her for some time, he decided to take matters into his own hands and entered her home to see if he could find any clues to her whereabouts. When he entered the property, he was met with an overwhelming stench of death from the kitchen. He first looked inside the fridge and then the freezer, when he was met with a grisly scene. She was found to have been stabbed up to 50 times with a screwdriver and left inside her own freezer, in the fetal position with her hands tied and her head between her legs. He then reported the matter to the police. The authorities are trying to track down Anna's boyfriend, as they believe he's responsible for her death, but his whereabouts is unknown. Neighbours describe the suspect, identified him only as Josue, as very jealous and abusive. A Las Vegas landlord is accused of murdering 2 tenants and injuring another over unpaid rent. The incident occurred on the 10th of August when 78-year-old Arnaldo Lozano Sanchez was fed up that his tenants had not paid their rent. He entered the small home where the tenants lived and opened fire with a gun. He killed 2 women and shot a man 9 times. The authorities arrived at the crime scene to find one woman dead outside, a wounded man stumbling out the front door, and another woman dead in a bedroom. The wounded man was hospitalised in a critical condition, but is expected to survive. Arnaldo was arrested but refused to speak with police. Several days before the incident, he told witness Adria Ortego that he was angry about tenants not paying rent. Ortego suggested he go through the courts. Arnaldo said he didn't want to go through the eviction process and said he would handle it his way. Another tenant, Carlos Lopez, was in the house at the time of the shooting but was not shot. He told the authorities that he saw Arnaldo go into the bedrooms where the women pleaded for their lives. Then he heard multiple gunshots being fired and the wounded man ran out. He then left the room smiling. After the shooting, Arnaldo asked a neighbour to help him dispose of the gun, but the deputies found it in a nearby bush. All the victims were in their 50s, but their names have not been immediately released. Arnaldo remains in custody at the Clark County Detention Centre, where he faces murder and attempted murder charges as the investigation into the matter continues. A British man shot 5 people dead, including a 3-year-old girl, that the authorities believe started with a domestic dispute with his mother, before turning the gun on himself. The mass shooting took place in the English city of Plymouth at around 6 p.m. 22-year-old crane operator Jake Davison took a pump-action shotgun and fatally shot his 51-year-old mother Maxine Davison. He then ran outside in the street and immediately shot a 3-year-old girl named Sophie Martin and a 43-year-old father Lee Martin. Jake then shot at 2 other passerbys who were badly injured. Then he entered a park and fatally shot another man, 59-year-old Stephen Washington. He also shot a 66-year-old woman named Kate Shepherd, who later died in hospital. Jake then turned the gun on himself before the authorities could tackle him. The deadly shooting spree lasted for about 6 minutes. Jake posted videos on YouTube under the name of Professor Waffle that have since been taken down. In his final video, he said how he was beaten down and defeated by life. He spoke about having a non-existent love life, being depressed, and struggling to stay motivated at working out and losing weight. The authorities took the shotgun away from Jake in December of 2020 due to an assault allegation that occurred in September of 2020. They returned it back to him last month, along with the license for it, after completing an anger management course. Investigators are looking into why the gun was handed back to someone with mental issues.